Hello, or hello everybody. I'm Mr. Awkward, and welcome to the honest collective collection of my family. Second interview. We're gonna talk with my big brother, film director, my favorite brother.
Your only brother.
They don't know that. Yeah, but he's my favorite though. Yeah, hello, good morning, and welcome. We are here in our sister's home, my sister's home, and there's a crazy bad weather outside. It's Iceland, you know. You're in Iceland here, and there's Christmas time. It's actually between Christmas and Happy New Year. And yes, and yeah, things that I want to ask my brother about is, or talk about in the show. We're gonna talk about references towards my father's comic collection. And also a little bit about my mom's storage bags collection. And yes, and now it's kind of start.
Aren't you gonna introduce me?
Yeah, yes. This is Reynir Lyngdal. He's this that I said before, actually, big brother and film director. Yes. And he's you know. It's like, for me, really like I want to be him when I was younger. You know, I want to be this guy, but
not anymore, I guess.
But not anymore. Now I just want to be my own man. But still he's always like in my head, that like the access that I wanted to have, in a way. But we're gonna talk about our father's and mother's collections. And did you know that my mom is collecting storage bags? And she's been doing so over 30 years, or since 1986. Did you know that?
I knew that she collected storage bags in the storage cupboard.
Oh.
She did that when I was young.
Yeah, that's actually the trash bags.
Storage bags.
Yeah, this is the trash bags. That's the thing. It's been like kind of a joke in our family that she's
she
like
always folds them.
She folds some bags and she puts it away.
Yeah.
Or she just like puts some bags together.
Yes.
Or like paper bags or something. Then you have like a little paper bag and then a little bigger one and a little bigger one.
Yeah, and all
inside one
each
thing,
other.
and then put inside somewhere.
Uh-huh.
And then I have noticed, like when I walk around the house, there's actually a lot of plastic bags, like inside of each other, and they have different rules. Like they have different lines. They have like different, like there's like, this is like fancy one, this is more fancy one, this is more fancy one.
Really?
Yeah, and there's like curries of like how she collects, and for her, it is a collection, and that's really funny. Like it's like
it is a collection.
Yeah, she
doesn't use them.
No, she
store.
Yeah, she stores it to use them.
Yeah.
And yes, and it's like it's all based on the usefulness and the frugality.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like based on that.
So she keeps them to. I didn't know this. I thought she only had the plastic bags, but she keeps them to
use them again.
To use them, but does she use them?
Yeah, that's the question. Like maybe she doesn't use all of them because there's so many, and
she probably wants to make sure that she has enough.
Yeah.
And all types.
And
so
yeah, all types.
Fancy ones and not really fancy ones, and then dirty ones, or you know.
Yeah. That's the thing. That's the purpose.
Where are they?
They're just all around the house. Just like all like put in between some other stuff.
Like in between books. And
yeah, in between everything. Like just.
Wow. No,
like,
I didn't know this.
No, you didn't know this. Like, yeah, and this is like been like a mystery in our family, and I just noticed this, and that's why
Maybe this collection didn't start until after I moved out, or maybe I was just not paying attention.
Yeah, this is like 1986. This is like when I was 3 years old.
I was just probably so caught up in myself and just, thinking about myself. I didn't really care, or I don't know. Wow. Okay. Wow. Always a bag for everything.
Yeah, bag for everything, and then like then you can have purpose for like if she's gonna have wraps in some gifts, and like okay, and maybe I'm gonna give my niece this, and then she gets
the perfect bag.
The perfect bag for that gift to put that in, and then she give it away, but somehow she gets it back, because sometimes she takes the gift out of the bag and she takes it back because it's her bag. She wants to collect it, and then in some bags she had never used, and
since 1986.
Yeah, there's like bags.
Oh.
There's also a bag from 1986 that she have been keeping since 1986.
Really?
And, yeah, and that bag, she never used it. Like it's just for this memory.
It's a memory. Sorry, I'm gonna turn off my phone. Really?
Yes, and that bag is from Iran.
Oh, so it's from Iran.
Yeah.
Did she go there?
Yeah, she went there to.
When she was flying.
Yeah,
when she was flying as a stewardess. So she keeps the bag. But what was in the bag? Do you know?
Nothing. It's just a bag. It's nothing in the bag. It's just a bag, just a plastic bag.
Oh, okay. So there was no memorabilia that's at home that she used.
No. It's just a plastic
She
bag.
just keeps the bag.
Yeah.
It's a plastic bag.
Yeah, plastic. Very good quality plastic bag.
Does it say something in Arabic or?
Yeah, it's like an Arabic, like a, it's a graphic design of Arabic kind of thing, and then you can see in the back like all the cities in Iran. It's a really cool bag.
Wow.
Actually.
Since '86.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's also
it's 30 years old.
Yeah. And then there's also another bag that is from the 80s.
Yeah.
That is my favorite bag of her collection, because I told her last interview was with her, and I was talking to her in Amsterdam, and I told her to bring a lot of bags to Amsterdam, and I told her to bring every categories one bag.
Yeah.
And those
one from each category.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then one of this one bag is there is from the 80s. It's actually like I thought it was from like 89 or 90s, in between 90s and 8. Yeah, it's 98 I think, 99, 80. Mm-hmm. Like this bag is from, and it's like multiplied. It's like a multiplied things on it, and it's like a real plastic thing. And
this is the morning paper.
Yeah, morning paper. Yeah, and in the back of it, it's printed, like from this.
From the newspaper.
Yeah, and just
I've
about
seen
like
that. So she keeps that.
Yeah, she keeps that.
Wow.
And that is this like a logo like M, and then it's like all these weird like shapes around it. Like it looks like they like graffiti design from that time.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, she keeps this. Like she also.
Do you think this is a condition of some sort?
I don't know. I think this is coming from my grandma's side.
Yeah, she was always collecting things.
Yeah.
She did.
Collect.
Did she collect bags as well?
I don't know about bags, but she collect a lot of other stuff.
Hats.
Yeah, and also just some glass like things to put.
Yeah, glass mats.
Yeah, to put jam in.
Oh yeah.
Just like
jars.
Yeah, jars and boxes and suitcases.
And Mom has that as well. She has a lot of boxes and a lot of Tupperware and those kind of like plastic boxes for everything.
Yeah.
Everything to store something in. She likes
and also like you can also find a huge box in the just in the house, and you just open it, and then there's another little box. You open that, and there's another little box, and it's like into like little box, like.
It's like the Russian dolls.
Yeah, like
you know.
yeah.
You know.
But like she keeps everything, because she
Russian
thinks,
babushka, I think it's called.
yeah, she thinks that she's gonna use it. She's gonna use it one day, and that is the whole purpose.
But yeah, that's the whole purpose.
The whole purpose about
she
why.
doesn't want to throw it away because she thinks she's gonna
use it again.
Wow. Yeah.
That's why the house is just filling up with stuff.
And it gets more and more and more.
And my dad got angry about it.
Yeah, he always wants to throw things out.
Yeah.
Well.
Yes. And this, yeah. Yeah. Have you noticed this when you come visit?
I've always known that she's very good at keeping stuff. She's always, you know, she never wants to throw anything out, and she kind of collects them and has, you know, always collects them and keeps stuff that she thinks could be used at some other time. And it also, what she does also is that she sometimes tries to, if she wants to get rid of it, she tries to give it to me or my sister, maybe you, I don't know. And you know, sometimes they're like, okay, I found this and this and this and this and this, and like old pictures and stuff since my like school years, since I was like 5 or 6 or 7 or 8. Like, don't you want to keep these books? When I started to read or write, or some paintings I did, and so she's kept all of it. And at some point, obviously the house is filling up, so she tries to give it to me, and some of it is something that's like, oh, that's nice memorabilia, but what I do with it is usually it just goes into my storage, you know, because I don't want her to, maybe not to hurt her feelings or something. I could just as well throw it away, but you know, she keeps, yeah, you're right. Yeah. And also what she does is that, like for example, this chair that you're sitting in, this is a chair from our grandmother. I have the other chair. This is our sister's home, so I have the other chair, and the sofa that went with it. Instead of giving it away, we know where it is. We lended it because Mom didn't want it to be thrown away. So she does this with a lot of things. She tries to, like, you know, get you to keep them because she obviously, I think she attaches feelings and memories to things.
Yes. And just like,
and like, you know,
she keeps everything that I have done since I was like 2 years old or something.
Yeah.
Just like everything. Then I could actually have exhibition about my art things since I was 2 years old. Just like everything.
That'd be cool, actually.
Actually, it would be really cool to see that. He's like, yeah, I started.
One day he's gonna be a famous
artist. He started at 2 years old. He was trying to draw pictures of people, and the eyes and the things went outside of the ring.
Well,
yeah. Or maybe the sofa is just she wants to keep that because she always thinks that I am gonna come home and do my.
Yeah, that's the thing, you know.
Have own my home, and then it's like something to come to my home.
She's economical about those things, which is nice. It's very nice of her.
Yeah.
But there are other things, you know.
Yeah,
you know, and she knows where everything is, even though it's not in the house, and the house keeps filling up.
Yeah. Yeah. This purpose is the same purpose of my grandma, and all this usefulness and frugality is like all like in the same of my grandmother who passed away 2006. Rest in peace. I can only say, I say rest in peace about my grandmother because she was awesome, really awesome person. Awesome. Yeah. Do you have this purpose in your life or in your daily practice at work? Like this, the same purpose
to keep things.
To keep things.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. I find it a bit hard to throw away overcoats.
Overcoats.
Yes, I have a lot of like, because we live in a cold country, and I always, because I have like special, I have, well, basically coats and parkas and stuff to wear when you go to the, if I'm gonna have to stay outside for, outdoor stuff and stuff like that. So I keep all of that quite well, and I'm kind of obsessed when I go shooting. If I'm shooting, I mean filming somewhere, and we do a lot of filming in the countryside, and you're outside, and I'm always so scared of. I always want to, well, not scared, but I always want to be prepared for everything. So I have like an inner layer, and then a layer on top of that, and like 2 parkas, one thick, one thin, So, and I'm kind of obsessed with this. I have to keep this all in the same place, and I always, I don't spend a lot of money on it, but I always, I'm always trying to be wearing exactly what fits the weather. So it's like, okay, now, oh no, I don't have any, and then, I grow bigger or fatter, or, and some things don't fit anymore, and then I need a raincoat, and I always have to have like a woolen coat, a raincoat, preferably a good maybe leather jacket if it's not too cold outside, and then some nice jackets. I'm so this could be my collection. Yeah, and art. I like to collect art, but that's more for fun.
Like collect art by others, not
yeah,
by you.
Art by others. Yeah. So every wall space in our house is filled with art. But I think that's more to do with something nice to look at rather than exactly memories. The other thing is more compulsive, and the thing with, of course, it's also something nice, something that looks nice, and I want to look nice, but I always want to be. I don't want to be too hot and too cold. So I have a lot of jackets and overcoats and parkas and maybe that's something that's similar to this. So that's not really, it has not anything to do with, it's not economical in that sense. I mean, and frugal in the sense that I spend money on it, but it has to do with some kind of a security for myself.
Okay.
And also clothes. I like buying nice clothes and collecting them and keeping them. So and that has to do with the security, my security. So
there is though like a little bit like a story value of like I have like been giving you like artwork, my artwork for like decades.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
And you're like okay, what to do with this?
Yes, yeah, and I try to fill them, and I got art by others and you, and I always try to find the space for it. And now actually we were talking about it, me and my wife, it's like, okay, it's getting kind of filled up here, because we also get, and now, as you get older, you have people around you that have children, and people sending in like our sister, and we want to also print out, we printed out some pictures regularly of my daughters and us, and so the wall space, like, okay, well I think we need a bigger house, and we don't need a bigger house, but we maybe might need a bigger house just with more wall space to hang things up on. So yeah, so that.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, now I'm gonna ask you about our dad.
Mm-hmm.
Our dad, who is he's I don't know. He's something. He's really something.
He's a complicated character.
Yeah, he's really complicated, and
it can be a lot of fun, but it can also be not a lot of fun.
A lot of stress also.
Yeah.
It can be like both, but sometimes he just goes like deep into joking and making stories and making things. Sometimes you don't follow him.
Yeah.
But like you're like okay, and then you try to follow him because he he means so well with it. He's
Yes.
like he's always like so like.
In that sense, I think he's very much. You are quite like, you know, you go and you're joking and you are kind of in your world that you're creating. You get so deep into it. It reminds me of our father.
Yeah, I think actually I am.
You have a similar mood.
I have most similar moods like of him, but also my sister has a similar mood to not like mood, but similar like stuff to my father a little bit, like because they like the same stuff kind of way.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah, they're very close.
very close with that. But I don't like that much. Like I like some stuff that he does, but I don't like a lot of like I don't like his music style. Like I'm not.
His music taste, no.
I've never been into his music taste, though he's been trying to push the music state like on me since I was a little child.
Oh really?
Yeah, like in a way, but he's not trying to push it, but he looks like it because we've been driving around Iceland, and he just puts ABBA on, like, and he sings with ABBA the whole time, and then I know every songs with ABBA just because my dad has been listening to it in the car.
Yeah, maybe that's why I also know them.
It's just like why ABBA? And like
Because I'm older than you, when I was growing up, it was more the Beatles and Elvis and Cliff Richard. So you know, because you know I'm a little older.
Yeah, then he was listening
and Kim Larsen.
Yeah, Kim Larsen. Yeah,
Which I hated until recently.
Yeah,
and
that's
this
same
band
here.
called Shooby-Dua.
Yeah, Super Duo. Oh my
Jesus
God,
Christ.
that is a whack band. like he was always listening to Kim Larsen and Super Duo all the time, and then ABBA in between, and I hated everything, all this, and I was just like had my own headphones, you know, and trying to like in the highest value, just like on my headphones.
Volume, yeah.
Yeah, and then he just put higher in the car. You couldn't even hear anything. We could. He heard like a little boom from me, and then he's like put it higher, and then I'm like, what? I can't even hear my music.
Well, I guess you know I like. You know, there's always something that comes from your parents, and you know, I was brought up in the 80s, so there was also a lot of. I think they I don't know, they played the radio in our house a lot then, so, and I got interested in music very early on, so they, both our parents, always let me be with what I was listening to. I'm not sure, my dad liked it, you know. I remember one story, because our dad likes to sing,
He likes to sing every text with every music that he listens to.
He likes to know the lyrics, and which is nice because he's good at learning it. But
when you're driving in the car,
yes,
and he's playing the music and he's singing over it the whole time,
yes,
the only thing you have
it's
to do is like just like what is going on here?
I remember he was in a band in his school once. You know, he's a teacher at a grammar school, and they had some, I don't know, some annual ball or something for the kids, so they formed a band with the teachers, and of course he was the singer. I'm not sure he was the best singer, but you know, he's a frontman material. He's that kind of a character, so he was like, I'm the singer, and he took my Walkman. Or you know, got my Walkman, I lended him my Walkman, and he had a tape of Nikita by Anton. Oh Nikita, you will never know. You know this song?
Oh no.
This was this was like a hit when I was maybe 10 or something. Yeah, it's probably 85, 6, something like that. 10 or 11, and he was so out of tune. And you know, I think this is the start of my adolescence. I was like, oh Jesus Christ, Dad! And since that time, I I've never really liked that song because he was singing it like for 2 weeks, always with my headphones. You know how people are when they have their headphones on and they think they're singing like but they're like totally out of tune.
Yeah.
So he was like that with that song.
Wow. Yeah, because like he like when I start singing at home, I actually I have a stress issue with singing and rapping in front of people, especially my family, especially him, because he started to correct. He always correct me when I talk in Icelandic or any language, or then he started correcting the singing, and then he said like it's in false note or something, and I'm like so like
Yeah.
and he's like already like started to like shoot on me like this is
Yeah, right in the middle of the song.
Yeah, he's like you're like okay, like maybe I was trying to sing it in a false note, you know, this was just for fun.
Maybe I just don't care.
Or maybe I was just stressed out because I was singing in front of him.
Yeah, because he's always gonna correct you anyway, so you get stressed anyway. Yeah.
But we're gonna talk about this was like a little intro about our father. But he has a collection of comics that is quite huge. I would say it's like it's so huge that it's the whole house is just full with comics. And now and now comics and plastic bags, but and. And
I'm more into the comics actually.
Yeah, the comics are like all over, and it's been since like when he was little child. He started to collect this, I think, and then he just started collecting it like so much. And why do you think he collects these comics?
Well, I think our father has always been he likes stories and he likes books and he likes good movies, and he's got a big imagination, and I think maybe, I don't know what the condition was in his house when he was younger, but I imagine it was a big household with a lot of kids, so I imagine this was a way for him to escape. I don't know if he would escape, you know, just to have something of his own. So when he's, I don't know, I have the same feeling, you know, when you're immersed in a story or like reading or watching a film or something, you can kind of escape what's around you, and then if you grow up with it, you get interested in it. I mean, it's the same with me. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing, you know. I think his collection of comics especially have pushed me in the direction that I am in. I'm a film director and film, and you know, I make films and TV shows and commercials and stuff like that, and I'm always interested in telling the stories, however long or short they are, and I think a big part of the reason why I'm doing that is that this was something that was around me since I was born. You know, you could look at pictures, and the pictures told you stories, and they told you stories of something mundane, or even some, you know, galactic space operas, or, you know, everything. And he collects everything. He likes, you know, he's got everything from, you know, he's got comics for grown-ups to Batman to French comics about Valerian and Lucky Luke and Tintin and the Belgian ones, and so and that's also what I always liked about his collection, that it's not concentrated on just the American.
No.
It's not just superheroes. And even though I like the superheroes, but I liked that he also collected the other ones. But he had a lot of them in Danish.
Yeah, he has Danish pocketbooks.
Yeah, Danish pocket, and Donald Duck. He's a lot of Donald Duck.
Yeah, we have actually Donald Duck.
But that was actually, he had Donald Duck in Danish, but then the Donald Duck collection started with me. I don't know if you kept on.
Yeah, it is actually, we have so much Donald Duck thing. We have like I think they have 3 huge boxes with,
Oh really?
with Donald Ducks.
Oh.
We have Donald, because he collected Donald Duck when he was on Danish,
Yeah.
and then he went onto you, and then he started.
Yeah, I started, collecting them.
Collecting
and
them, yeah, and then he like it's kind of funny. Like he says like today, like yeah, like I signed you up. I signed like you up for, and then when you like.
When
And then
I got too old.
old, then he signed it up to me,
Yeah.
and I like I was collecting them, though he was paying for the whole thing,
Yeah, of course.
and he was in a way collecting them,
Yeah, he was doing it through us.
like through
and
us.
then when we left the house, I guess, or became men, he kept on going, with the collection, and I really like this collection. This I've always tried, but there was an exception now this Christmas. But always for gifts for him, I like to go to a comic book store and find something, and I kind of envy him of this collection. I really like this.
Yeah.
I would really like to be more into it, but I think I read every book in his collection, everything. I know all of them.
You have read
Yeah,
all of
I
them,
think so,
also the Mad ones.
Yeah.
All the Mad.
Oh, the Mad magazines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I have read some of the Mad thing, but also there's a lot of white boxes around the house with a lot of the books in, and
Yeah.
a lot of the Mad thing, and a lot of I think all the old comics
Yeah.
are in there.
All the white boxes,
yeah,
yeah.
all the ones are like kind of thin and stuff.
Yeah.
I think they're all in the boxes, but like all
Those are the ones that he probably bought when he was either a child or a teenager. He's got comics since then.
yeah.
So and that's a lot of the cheap ones. Well, not cheap ones, but I think you got like. I think it was something like it came out every week or every 2 weeks.
Yeah, like he had.
But they still have it. I mean, it's a business in the States,
It's also like kind of funny to reason that he did own the first magazine of Superman,
Yeah.
who is like today one of the most expensive like
He still has it.
No, he doesn't has it because of his brothers. They ripped it apart one day when he was young.
Really?
And yeah, and now in the future, like, oh yeah, I had this.
But I don't think it has anything to do with money.
No,
with him. It's
it's
just,
nothing.
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny story. But
Yeah.
but
That's a funny story.
he doesn't collect comics because of value. He only collects it because he likes to read them and likes to have them. That's the only reason, I think.
So he's like he's the first nerd in our family.
Yeah, he's a big nerd.
Yeah.
Like I thought, I didn't know that he was that much nerd till I went with him to the Nexus. The Nexus is our comic store.
Yeah, it's a big comic
Comics
store.
the only comic store that sells only comics and some all other nerd stuff. And I went in there, and he had these 2 books with him, and I was like, and there was like these thick old books that I knew. They said this comic on them, and they had some different thing, and he was showing it to the comics guys in the shop, and the funny part was just like the guys were like, whoa.
Yeah.
I've never seen that. That's so old. Wow. And then I realized how much nerd my dad is. It's like the super nerds who own the store thought this was like the coolest thing they ever saw. I was just like, and the books have been inside of my room since I was a little child. And I was not. I have like checked them out. I didn't like that comics that well.
I think in that comic book store, Nexus, I think they should have a picture of him that says like Grandpa Nerd.
There's a picture of him.
Yeah.
Grandpa Nerd in the gold.
Reynir Lyngdal, Grandpa Nerd.
The big comic collection
Yeah,
guy. He owns everything.
Yeah.
Like, And he also like he orders he still orders comics from them and tell them to order something that is even not in the store. Just like because he needs to have all the series in this kind of comics. And yeah, and for me like I have read actually I have not read because I have a big dyslexia and I couldn't read. I just like I could read just a little bit and then I fall asleep because I had not like was patient to do it, and then I just stopped reading it. I only watch the pictures. And I think that is why, because of why I started to art and do art on like start painting and stuff like that. It's actually probably from the comics, because the comics, well, I was just only watching the pictures. I was not reading.
Yeah, it's inspirational. It gives an inspiration of that this is something that can be done. You know, it's not just because in Iceland there's a big culture of reading and writing novels, and we're a literally nation in that sense, and comic books have always been looked upon a little bit, this is for kids, but our father kind of introduced us to a whole world which does not exist for everyone, not even today, well, it's more mainstream now with all the superhero movies and everything, but when we were young, especially this was something for, people thought this was something for kids, and I will always be very grateful to him for that, because this is always, it's always there in the back of my head.
Yeah, also my. Do you think there is any reason of this collection?
I think it's just, his. Well, I don't know. I know he started doing this when he was studying in Denmark, but I think he did it, collecting the more European ones. But I think he's been doing this since he was a kid, and it probably has something to do with, escaping something. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know actually what his household was like, but it was filled with kids, and I know there was some strain and some difficulties, and his father was not around. He lived somewhere else, and he lived with our grandmother and well, a man we called our grandfather, but he was not his biological father. So maybe it has something to do with, creating your own world in your own mind, to escape something, or I don't know. And it also, they are nice. I like to read them, and my life isn't boring, so it doesn't have to be any other reason than, that he liked them.
Yeah, and it kind of influenced you.
A lot, yeah. I think it's the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing today. Also, he introduced me to films very early on, and I think he was one of the first, our household was one of the first on the block, and especially with my friends that had like a VCR. So we always had like a VCR, even though it was not very common, and we would go and rent tapes, and he would take us to the movies, and so very early, I knew that I wanted to be a filmmaker since I was like 8 or something. This is what I wanted to do.
Yeah, you started really early on.
Yeah. And I think that has something to do with, a lot to do with our father and this collection.
Yeah, he's a guy who, I don't know, he pushed these comics maybe or not.
I didn't really have to push them, they were just there. And,
they were just there. And,
I think it's probably just similar to, to me it's the same as, music, you hear from people that, like, especially, good musicians and stuff, and like, how did you start playing? And usually they come from a household where there's a lot of music, and maybe there's a piano or guitar or something, and they get interested because it's there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That's
and it's there, and they start playing, and if they have an ability or some notion or some some talent, it comes out very early, and that's the best. I mean, and that's what I had. So I don't know if there's a reason for it. Maybe the reason is, you know, so we would become who we are.
Yeah, maybe he plans this. Maybe
You know, maybe
maybe
not planned it. Maybe it's like, what do you call it?
no, he didn't plan this,
No,
but
yeah.
he maybe, I don't know, thought this was nice,
You know,
and
subconsciously
then, yeah,
planned it.
kind of,
Yeah.
yeah, and then he loves everything what we do,
Yeah, he's very, very supportive of everything we do.
everything, like really, like boom, and
He's a great guy.
yeah,
He is.
at last, yeah, we actually had talked about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are we done?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for this pleasant talk. We can talk about this all the time, but
Yeah. I think we talked for like an hour or something.
yeah, quite a long time.
38 mínútur. Já.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you and goodbye.